Today's guest is a makeup artist and special effects professional who has worked on the biggest productions in Nigeria's movie industry. In this lighthearted yet serious chat, Feyzo shares the secret to working with big names and the hardest thing about being a makeup artist in the industry. Being an artist can be a heck of a ride, but you're not alone. On Journey of the Art, we tell inspiring stories of artists and chat with those who support us on this path. I'm your host, Lola Opataya, writer, editor, singer, and all round lover of words. Come with me on the journey. Before we get into today's conversation, I want to take a moment to let you know that this podcast is also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. So feel free to listen on the go or download it for later. Hello there. Welcome once more to Journey of the Art. I am so excited today to interview my guest today, Feishayo Oyebisi, also known as Feyzo. She's a makeup artist. Did I get that right? Special effects makeup artist
Yeah.
in the film industry in Nigeria, also known as Nollywood. Welcome, Fei.
Thank you.
Or Feyzo. What do you want me to call you, Fei or Feyzo?
Whichever
Or
one
Feisha?
comes easier to you, honestly. Whichever one.
I might call you the three things. So
You might call me
just
both.
be the three things. Like it could be Faye, it could be Faze, it could be Feyshire. So
Everything. Sucks.
stay ready. Just stay ready.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's start with some fun questions.
Okay.
And my first question, I feel like I know the answer to this one already, but I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
Because you're a makeup artist and you play with colors a lot, what's your favorite color?
Hmm. Okay, purple is my favorite color, but I like white and gray.
Oh, I was actually pretty sure that it was gonna be purple because I
It
know that
is.
you like
Purple
purple.
is my favorite color, my absolute favorite color, but I just find white and gray very relaxing. So,
White and gray. Gray. Did you
yes,
say gray or
together.
green?
White and
Oh,
light gray. Yeah. So
oh,
my
interesting.
sitting room very heavily white and gray. My bedroom heavily white and gray. You only see touches of purple, but purple is my absolute favorite color.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to picture white and gray. Interesting. Okay, so these. I'm going to ask you a set of this or that questions,
Okay.
and you're going to try to be as quick as possible.
Okay.
Creating a monster or transforming into a historical figure.
Transforming.
Okay. Old age makeup or wound simulation.
Old age makeup.
Okay. Morning call time or night shoots.
Hey, morning call times, please.
I figured you might say that. Okay, so I thought I'd ask those fun questions just to relax us a little bit, and
Okay.
also as a precursor into the next question that I'm going to ask about your journey into artistry. So I know that you are a person of several talents. You sing, you make beauty products, you do makeup, you do special effects. I think you do a little bit of painting, and maybe that's my imagination. But you do, a number of artistic things. So
Yeah.
can you talk a little bit about your journey into artistry?
My journey as an artist, as I always said,
Yes.
or to makeup artistry.
Yes, into makeup artistry, yes.
Okay, so um I'd say that I'm an offspring of two creatives. So art was always in my family, you know. Some
Mm.
form of art was always in the family. However, when I got into secondary school, or maybe even from primary school, I would paint. Fine arts was one of the courses or subjects that I really enjoyed. And then when I got into secondary school, I would design greeting cards
Mm.
for my classmates in exchange for like milk or Milo. You know
Oh,
how it is in a
wow.
boarding house for
Wow.
Gary, yeah, because we couldn't exchange cash. And then I just did that. I would draw cartoon characters. You know, if I got my hands on any comic books, I would just draw. I would pick paper and just recreate that. So I always just, I honestly thought I was going to be like a Picasso or something.
Oh,
You know,
maybe it's
that's
still
where
in
my
your
mind
future.
was.
It may still be in your future.
We'll see. But when I was about to leave secondary school, I started to pick interest. You know, I think that in 1999, no, not earlier, I think, 1999 thereabouts was when I kind of started to pay more attention to makeup artistry,
Mm,
just around, you know, having access to magazines, hints, you know, those ones, and then the pictures were as vivid as it could be. And then I just thought to myself, that about I turn this artistry and make human beings my canvas.
mm,
Then when I got into university, I had more opportunities. You know, I'd already now started to find all means and methods to do makeup, you know, even with the most minimal products that I had. But then in university, we had shows, we had dinners, girls would want to dress up and go out. So I just really, that's how I got into makeup. How
mm.
I got into film is a different question.
That's
So
exactly what
maybe
I
when
was
you
gonna
get
ask
there,
next. I was gonna ask that
okay.
next.
Do you want me to go on
Yes,
and just speak about that as well?
yes, please.
Okay. So, you know, I dare say that in my university, I went to Bowen University, by the way. I dare say that maybe I was the first few declared makeup artists. You
Mm,
know, there definitely were others, but I used to help people groom their brows for a tiny amount of money. So I was known for that.
mm,
And then, you know, we would do stage plays. They would require some sort of body painting. I also realized that I was more excited by doing something abstract, you know, by creating from like an idea as opposed to just doing eyebrows, doing eyeshadow, doing lips.
mm,
So I enjoyed painting more on people than just merely doing makeup.
mm,
That's where the body art thing started to, the craving started to get satisfied and, you know, kind of expanded. And then I do recall that in my 200 level, just when we were about to round off the session, a friend of mine, I think she went home for, I think we had some sort of mid-session holiday or public holiday. Then she went home and she came back. When we all resumed, she just kept gushing about how her older sister was working in the film industry. She was working on a popular show at the time as
mm,
an assistant. And I was just fascinated. Like, I was like, you mean it? Like, you actually know a real person that you can touch? Oh, you know, I was so obsessed. And I told her, I said, please, whatever the case, whatever I can take, let me tell your sister, I'd like to intern.
mm.
I'm sure she doesn't even remember this part. And I tell this story a lot. Oyindamola Quadri, God bless you wherever you are. And her sister, Auntie Titi Aluko. I mean, I still shout Auntie Titi out everywhere as much as I can. So I literally stalked her to get me an internship position. So when we broke for the holiday, I just got that internship position on a platter, and it was on a show called Edge of Paradise. You
Oh,
know, Edge of Paradise was like the biggest show
yeah,
at that time
yeah.
by the biggest network at that time. You know, so it was surreal for me. It was like, oh my god. You know, I was working on a movie set, and so at the time, my boss did costume styling, costume design, makeup artistry, special effects. So I just thought that that was one entire department, and I
Mm,
learned everything. So now, even now, I do all. I do everything glam. Of course, now there's more structure, so I have personnel who specialize in all those things, and I can
mm,
provide creative oversight. But you know, that's how it began, honestly.
mm.
I went back to school and I just knew that guys, wait for me. I finished university.
Yeah.
I served, but while I was still doing makeup, I was still, but I, at this time, I was just doing makeup so that I could also earn an income
Mm,
aside, you know, where I was serving. So I was doing beauty, I was doing bridals, I was doing fashion shows. Back then, fashion shows were exciting as well because, you know, editorials, you had to create like abstract looks
yeah,
and all that. But I started to get bored with the routine of just eyeshadow, brows,
yeah.
lashes. it just, so I was already like, what's next? What's next? Then I went to work full time in the bank. There was, of course, you can't mix filmmaking and banking.
Yeah.
But when I left the bank in 2013, I just didn't bother myself. I had a studio, but I was still pursuing film on the side, short films, shows, fashion shows. By the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, I just went straight into film, and
Mm.
here we are today. I don't want to say the rest is history because the history is still being made. So yeah,
Well, that's
that's it.
interesting. It sounds to me like a story of you taking a chance on yourself and chasing those
Yeah,
opportunities until you got what you wanted,
yeah,
which isn't something that a lot of people can see for themselves. They just stay at the dreaming phase. But you went on to find those opportunities, to seek those opportunities out. So that's wonderful. What would you say is the hardest thing about being a makeup artist in the film industry?
The hardest thing would be being taken seriously.
How so?
Even now, it's still a thing. I think about it. 7 years ago, I hesitated to introduce myself as a makeup artist. Now, I still introduce myself as a makeup artist with a little bit of an attitude. I
Hmm.
think because I think about these things. I think about it. There was a time where makeup artistry was the bottom of the food chain in the beauty industry.
Hmm.
There were celebrities, but it was like, so I think that being taken seriously is is one of the hardest things about, it's not the money.
Hmm.
It's not money, because if you know what you're doing, money will come to you. So much money will come to you. But just being taken seriously, that I'm actually a professional.
Hmm.
Do you get? I have a set of skills that you have no idea about.
Hmm.
You know. So yeah, I think that I've never said that out loud because I don't think I've had to answer this question.
Hmm.
But yeah, being taken seriously is one of the hardest things.
That's not an answer that I expected to hear, which is great. Which is great. Which is great.
What did you think it would be?
I thought it was gonna be maybe standing for so long to do your work.
Oh,
The physical strain of it, that's what I thought would be the hardest
um,
part of it. But that makes a lot of
hmm,
sense. And I think I can sort of relate to that because when I talk about editing, people just feel like, oh, it's just periods and commas, but it's so much
yeah,
more than that. So I
yeah.
thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I wanted to also ask you about how you prepare yourself for creative work. What kind of research goes into preparing for a character? Say the character is Shola Shobawale, for instance, in The
Okay.
King of Boys. How do you prepare for to style? And please correct me if I'm wrong, but to style, to do the makeup, like to create this person's look, what kind of process goes into that creativity?
Okay. So, I mean, these are the kind of questions I really like to answer because these are the things that I feel also solidifies people's impression of what we do, right? So, the first thing is you get a script. Now, when you get a script, you do not know who the actor is.
Mhm.
Do you understand? I have no idea what the cast list is, what the casting is, but I've made it a point. I started like maybe 5 years ago. And I started for a different reason. I started because I just realized that these guys, producers will come and tell you there's no money. Meanwhile, they've gotten the most expensive actor to shoot the film. That means there's money.
Mhm.
That was why I started to ask. But it now translated into when I'm narrowing down my makeup design for each character. So, for instance, if you, for instance, are playing a character that is supposed to be very wild and bohemian, your nature is conservative. Yes, you're an actor, you can make believe. But what would make you more comfortable is to be able to meet you at the point of your first, your nature,
Mhm.
So let's say I'm doing costume design for your character that is supposed to be a complete opposite of who you are. I'm not going to just throw you on like the skin pierced outfits because naturally that's not, so but I don't go straight on asking about the actor playing the character. So I just read the script. First of all, I just read to see if I can enjoy and connect. Then I create a document called a mood board. It has many names. It's either a mood board or a lookbook or a treatment. The inky name, say the scientific name, quote and unquote, is a treatment, because what it is I'm trying to visualize the writer's intentions
Mm.
and to prepare myself to listen to the director's visual expressions of this story,
Mm.
right? So I'm thinking about the character. In my mind, I'm thinking, what if this person was real? These are the items that may form this person's mannerisms.
Mm.
So I'll cite an example. So I'm reading a script, and there are some things that are not stated, you know, that as an artist, I have to be able to envision. So if the script says that this person is a bit of an alpha female, you
Mm.
know, she's she's a hard person. She's had she's a graduate of the School of Hard Knocks,
Mm.
same shiggy, and then she's come out at the end, and she just really wants to be perceived as someone who's very tough.
Mm.
And there might be a softness to her, but she wants to be perceived as someone who's very soft. In my mind, I'm going to say, okay, we're going to give this character maybe red lipstick, but not
Mm.
the bright shade of red. Maybe something brick red, something could even be burgundy, wine, just something that every time we see her, it also just adds to that vision,
Mm.
because the script may never, like, the character or the other characters that will interact with this character may never come out to say she's very hard and strong.
Mm.
But the clothes she wears, the makeup, her hairstyle might be a bob, a blunt cut, as opposed to something curly that frames her face and makes her look feminine. No,
Mm.
but a blunt cut. Think the fixer. So everything about that character, her clothes, the colors. It's only when something extra is about to happen that you see her in a pop of color. It's
Mm.
usually the beiges, the grays,
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah.
everything just adds to, and that's the process. So I'm thinking outside of the things that are written, and I'm trying to create a reality for
Mm.
this character. So I'm thinking what she would be known for. Would she be someone who would wear long nails or short nails? And then somewhere along the line, I then like to connect this persona I've created for this character with whomever is playing the real. So I then ask for the cast list. Who has been casted for this? So it never starts from knowing who the character is. It
Mm.
starts from just or who the actor is. It starts from just reading the script and understanding this world that we're trying to create. Because when people are watching a movie,
Yeah.
they're entirely, no matter how people want to say, "Oh, I know it's a film now. Why should I cry? It's a film." But we've created a world
Yeah.
that for the next 2 hours you're in that world, and that's why people react like, "Ah, don't go there now," because we have added to the entire. So
Yeah.
makeup also contributes very largely to that storytelling.
So I
I
have
hope
a
I'm not rambling.
I have a follow-up question to that because these are very interesting insights.
Okay.
When you've created this treatment or mood board or whatever name
Yeah.
you choose to call it, have you ever had an interaction with a member of the cast who feels that an interaction with somebody who feels that they don't like the treatment that you have, designed for them? And if so, how have you handled that?
So before the treatment gets to the actor, it goes through there's an hierarchy, there's a structure, right? The director is at the top of that food chain,
Mhm.
and then right after him, for my department, is a production designer or art director, and then there's head of teams for whatever hair, makeup,
Okay.
and all that. So before my treatments, first of all, except the actor has to understand what kind of looks we're creating for their character, it's it's not a conversation I am going to have with
Right.
them.
Right. So it's pretty much a
Um,
done deal once the art director
yeah,
says this is fine.
yeah. But because we are also, I mean, we have one goal, and that's to make a great picture.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that singular goal, I listen to the actor. You know, the actor may say, okay, so what are the ideas that you have for this character? And I'm saying like, oh, okay, oh, I didn't read that like that. Too. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Or and if the actor says, I don't like this that you've done, I'm like, okay, I'm going to circle back to the director because that's the person who decides
Mm-hmm.
what the look is. That's the person with the vision. That's the one is the one in charge of the storytelling. You know, at the end of the day, an actor is an actor for hire. So you are acting. It's not your real life.
Yeah.
You are
Mm-hmm.
making believe this new character. So yeah, I've had cases where an actor says, no, I don't like it, and they make a fuss of it, and the director concedes. And I've had cases where the director says, no, this is what I want for this character. And I've even had cases where the actor was changed because the director felt like this one is going to give me issues
Mm-hmm.
when you're already being difficult, just at the point of seeing a treatment. But yeah,
Okay,
those are the ways.
that's very interesting to know because I often wonder about the dynamics, like what goes on behind the scenes. Because, like, for instance, Shala Shubawale's character, like I mentioned earlier on, it have
Yeah,
character came that boss lady vibe came on very strong, and so
yeah.
I was just wondering what things went on behind the scenes to create that look. I also know,
If you remember, sorry to cut you, if you remember that the first scene that we saw her, remember she was wearing white and
yes,
red lipstick.
yes,
So it was very intentional. It
mm,
wasn't, oh, she's fair. It was very intentional. It was to make a statement. So those are the other things. Like, what's the first time we see this character? It must be memorable.
mm,
Even if they are in the dumps, if they are dirty, that dirt must be remarkable and memorable. Yeah. So
mm.
those are those tiny elements that just contribute to the entire picture.
So I know that you also work with the crew.
Yeah.
I mean, under your makeup slash special effects, and please correct me if I'm saying this wrong. But that department, I know that you also have a crew because from what I remember, it used to be just you, and then now you have people who assist you, people who do one or two
Mm-hmm.
aspects of the makeup
Mm-hmm.
task. What does it look like to manage that crew?
Hmm. So it's a very interesting question because I take a lot of time in selecting my team.
Mm,
You know, the way the movie industry is set up, the way Nollywood is set up, we have to be so closely connected. And I
mm,
don't mean this as friendship. Like we don't have a choice. We have to be in each other's noses and faces. It's not
mm,
like maybe other film industries where maybe say the head of makeup or the makeup designer has their own office or whatnot.
right,
Makeup has a holding area and my assistant is right here. The intern is right there. Do you understand? So
right.
I'm very careful the kind of people that I don't just select by skill, I select by character.
Mm,
And I have a large team. I have a team of up to 20 people. But when I'm selecting or deciding who's going on what project, I'm thinking about the actors on that project and
mm,
what kind of people they are,
mm,
what kind of whose emotional intelligence can handle this
right,
kind of actors.
right.
So I mean, sometimes I've selected wrong and I'm having to douse fires. I'm having to stand between just, how you just slide quietly between an actor and your assistant. I'm like,
Mm,
oh, what's the issue? Oh, I'm so sorry. But what it is like, I'm just really trying to calm
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
down. So yes, I try not to be a micromanager, which also contributes to how I select the team.
Mm,
So I'm going to have, say, for projects that I am physically there, there's me, there's the first makeup artist, and then there's the first makeup assistant. If there's an intern, then the second makeup assistant. or the first makeup assistant has to be someone who's equally strong. If the two of them are not strong, that means I have to micromanage, which I hate to do. But I mean, it differs per project, it differs per set. Sometimes if it's a project I'm not on physically, that I'm just checking in, or once I get a call from the producer at all, I know that there's fire on the mountain. So sometimes I even rearrange the team. Sometimes the people on the project are like, Feyzo, why are you micromanaging us? Nobody has anybody called you? Please leave us alone. We're doing great, So long as I've done the creative part of it, and I'm just seeing, like, daily, just send me photos. Let me see what's happening. I'm also following up. But yeah, it differs per project. But I think that one thing that I always consciously try not to do is to not be a micromanager. Even when there's an interaction between the assistant or the sub team head, and I'm there, I'm just pressing my phone, like I'm not listening, because I want to see how they solve the problem. Because what if I'm incapacitated? What if I fall ill and you can't even reach me? How will you solve the problem? So it differs per time, per situation, per circumstance, but I'm very careful how the team is put together.
And how does that work?
Yeah, so there's a joke, there's a long-standing joke that I attract my kind. They say it's that every time that when people just come in and they all look like serious, and then give them 1 month, the crazy in them comes out, and like, Feyzo, you went and selected your people. I don't know.
Actually, I was going
Disclaimer.
to ask a follow-up question based on that. Like, for each movie, because my understanding is that you have a team that works for you constantly. But
Hmm.
what it seems you're saying is that for every project, you kind of have to make up the team again and again and again. Is that how it is?
Yes, so I pull from a body
Right,
of personnel.
right,
So
right,
there's a team Feyzo, you
right,
know,
right.
and I have to stretch so that we could do multiple projects per time. So sometimes if a producer comes to me, I'll ask, are you hiring Feyzo makeup artistry, or you want to hire Feyzo?
Right,
Do you get?
right.
So um I have people that, if they are on a project and I'm not seen, people know that that is me. I'm on set. Whereas I have people that, if I'm on a project physically, if it's a big project, like if it's an international project, you must be there with me. There are those people as well. So
Okay.
yeah, I have a group of artists that work with me constantly, as much as God gives us the opportunity, and then I then pull from there for
Right.
projects per time.
Okay. Can you talk to me a little bit? You already touched on this, but just very quickly, can you talk to me about a time where you had a challenge on a set and how you handled it? So basically, how do you handle unexpected challenges on set?
There are so many challenges that come up, challenges that you never see coming, that you never envision. Um,
Can you give me one example, one very
Honestly,
quick example?
as in, I'm really trying to think about it. Ooh, okay. So I'm on this project, and I'm handling the entire glam department. Like I said, I do costume, but I don't. It's not even common knowledge. Like, those who know. I don't put it out there. I don't lead with it. But this particular client, they've been my clients for years, so they wanted me to handle the entire glam department. Now, their leading lady, um, I'm not a celebrity, right? And I also I don't shout, I really don't, I'm not chasing celebrity, honestly. I just really want to have a lot of money, and I want to be able to say, oh, I'm a makeup artist with so much money, you know? So I'm not popular. I'd say that, right? And I'm guessing this particular actor, usually an actor, even if they don't know your name, they would check you out.
Right.
They will ask their friends about you. So I don't know, maybe she doesn't like what she heard about me, or she didn't even ask. But she came on set and I could already smell her attitude, right? However, my team had already set up. We had a whole space because we're doing hair,
Mm-hmm.
costume, makeup. So we're all set up, right? And they had already sorted out her costume for the day. She brought her own things, and I was like, okay, I have this. If you don't want to wear your stuff, so we had already sorted all that. I was civil, polite. I mean, it's not friendship, it's work,
Yeah.
right? And then when it was time to do her makeup, I could see she had her knuckles up, and because I'd already heard about her as well, I can pack for a cheap project, right? I can pack drugstore products, but I also have high end packaging,
Mm.
and that's what I laid out on the table because I mean I don't know if smell is there.
You came correct.
So, but I could see that she had her hackles up. She was really speaking through her nose. She had an attitude. I'm like, Auntie, calm down. It's day one. No, we're still going 20 more days. Calm down. You know, how I handle this is very interesting. So, I started to do her makeup. She said she insisted on me using her foundation. Notes. So I started to apply her foundation. She's like, can I see a mirror? So I give her a mirror. She's like, this thing is looking too bright. I said, I'm using your foundation. He said, I don't know what it is you're doing. I don't know how you applied it. But something is just not right. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do differently? How do you want me to fix it? She's like, I don't know. I don't know. And the way it's looking, we're going to have to wipe it. And then she started to get really irritating. She was now like, like I'm taking treatment for my skin. Now I'm going to have to clean up my skin. My assistants, I could feel their body. They were already coming close, like, you, we will, she was saying all that. I was just like, oh, okay. Okay, so what do you want me to do? She's like, we're going to have to wipe it. So I'm like, okay. I took wipes and my seller was like, she's like, no, no, no. Okay, I'm like, okay, so here
Here,
is
here is the
wipes.
wife.
Here's my seller. Then she takes the phone. No, in fact, she walks out. She goes to meet the producer. So the next thing I knew, like, producer comes to me and says, Feyzo, I'm so sorry. Feyzo, I'm so sorry. Feyzo, Feyzo. I'm like,
Like, just calm
no,
down.
you. No problem. Oh, I'm calm. I'm not the drama, So before I know it, she calls a makeup artist to come from outside,
Oh,
a
wow.
celebrity makeup artist. I didn't even know. It was my assistant who, like, don't you know this person? I don't know how. So the girl comes, they are making jokes about the makeup. I could hear. But I mean, it's the entire glam team. So I was doing. She's not the only actor. I'd already done two other makeup actors' makeup, sharp, 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 sharp. So she could see the makeup. Those ones were taking selfies, taking pictures. Their hair was styled, their clothes. One of them was already like, Hazel, this outfit, I'm taking it.
Oh.
So day one went. Day two. See, you already told me what you want. So day two, good morning. And I went to the other actor straight. I didn't touch her. Of course, you can't keep up
Mm.
calling a celebrity makeup artist every day. I charge a rate that works for the producer.
Mm.
You can't call a celebrity makeup artist. Maybe the person is charging you 100K per day, even if by friendship is 50K.
Mm.
You really want to do 50K per day for
Yeah.
20 days?
Yeah.
Of course, it's not cheap. How much are they paying you for the film there? So by day three, she had already gotten tired of all her shenanigans. She was trying to be nice. I just completely ignored her because you're not gonna drag me in the dirt and try to be my friend. Civil, nice. When she says, "Oh, sorry, can I have my makeup?" I'll just call my first assistant. She wants her makeup done, so I didn't touch her. I would do background actors' makeup and not touch her. If she wants anything, I will make sure
Like,
she
did
has
she have a
everything
lead
wrong.
role?
What did you say?
Did
Yeah, she was a female lead, but she did not want to be led by me, so I left her. But by the last week, she was really she had. I mean, it was clear. Apparently, so I was on that project. I was doing two films at the same time, and I was kind of providing oversight on both. The
Mm.
other one was a tribe called Judah, actually. So where we're filming that was so far away from where they were filming this one.
Mm.
So as soon as she was even doing drama, it made it easy for me that thank God though, they will not say face why she no want me make her do her makeup. So that one even had me occupied and busy. Even when I'm on this other project where she
Yeah.
was, I was on my laptop, working, trying to get ready for the next scene. But by the third week, my assistants were now telling me that it's not just makeup, but that she shows them pepe, the costume, the way she handles it, the way she speaks to them. But by the third week, they are taking a leaf from me as well. They just go out of their way. Nobody's trying to be extra nice, just
Yeah.
civil. Then she had realized the error of her ways. She saw how all the other actors were interacting with the team, how people who even had one scene would come and say, "Where's Feyzo? Where's Feyzo? Where's Feyzo? Where's Feyzo?" So, our best friend at the time is someone that we I can't say, I mean, I use the word friendship very lightly in the
Mm-hmm.
movie industry, but we're very cordial,
Mm.
and she's like my guy. So that was like, the person that you have issues with is someone that nobody ever has issues with. Like,
Mm.
how can you have issues with this person? So she bought cupcakes. I took her cupcake, I ate it. Thank you, and I still didn't give her attention. But I had a conversation with the producer, and I was like, look, we had an agreement. You saw the lookbook. You saw we discussed at length
Yeah.
what the look was going to be. If we're going to get on set and you're going to allow the actor dictate how she wants to look, then
Mm.
you're going to take responsibility for the fallout.
Mm.
Don't come and call me and say, Feyzo, why is this person looking like this?
Mm.
Because she decided and you allowed her decision stand. Apparently she had issues with director as well. The director would call me and say, "How are you coping with this person?" I'm like, I'm not coping with her. I'm just avoiding her. So that's a peculiar case. And it's the most dramatic one that I would not have to mention. I have plenty. I have
Mm.
plenty. I have some that I really did do wild things that I shouldn't speak of in public.
But I do love how you handled it. Like, one approach could have been aggression,
Yeah.
giving that same energy back, but
Hmm.
you just hold back and you let it flow, and you focused on other things. So, and I asked that question because I think sometimes people want to get into the film industry or any other industry for that matter, and they have this idea of what it's going to look like, and they
Yeah.
don't anticipate the fact that maybe what they want to do isn't perceived as super important, and maybe the other people, like on the food chain that you're talking about, feel like,
Yeah.
you're not worth my time. I'm going to make things a little more difficult for you.
Hmm.
And I just wanted you to share a moment, because I know that one of the things that Funke Akindele said about you was that you were very easy to work with.
Oh.
So I wanted you to share some wisdom on how you handle difficult situations like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So still on this subject of clients, you have been in the makeup department for some of the biggest films: A Naija Christmas by Kunle Afolayan, King of Boys, The Return of the King by Kemi Adetiba,
Hmm.
Hidden Figures by Kayode Kasum, A Tribe Called Judah by Funke Akindele,
Hmm.
and Ayinla by Jade Oshiberu. So you've worked with some really big names, like I said. What is the secret to working with these big productions?
What is the secret?
Yes, to working with these big productions.
Ah.
Why do they keep calling you back?
So, let me use Funke Akindele as an example. Funke Akindele doesn't joke around, you know. Even though, we just finished shooting a film about Jenifa, and Jenifa is a comical character.
Yeah.
As comical as that character is, she doesn't joke around. She has a vision. She's the queen of strategy. She doesn't joke around. Do you
Mm.
understand? She's very detailed. She's a perfectionist. So I literally have a meeting with my team that, look, especially three of them, for this Everybody Loves Jennifer, three of them had never worked with her before.
Mm.
They are relatively new to the company. So I had to have a meeting with them and give them an orientation of the person they're about to work with. And I do
Mm.
this on every set. I mean, for Kayode Kasum, we've worked together for many projects. My assistants are familiar with him, so I don't have to have that meeting. But
Mm.
for her, I had to call them like, this person pays attention to details. You know that thing I'm always shouting about on other sets? On this set, you cannot afford for me to shout about it, because anything that will make me shout about it, she has seen it. She
Mm.
misses nothing. Jonathan,
Mm.
like, I'm telling you the fact. She misses nothing. every department, she has her eyes on it.
Mm.
So I just take it with that same seriousness.
Mm.
I also, I mean, this is my job. I'm not, I mean, you know how goofy I can be,
Yeah.
how unserious I can be. I do not take myself seriously, but I take my job very seriously, and I communicate that to my team. So no matter how smiley I am, I think that the energy that I take this job seriously, it also shines through. I've
Mm.
prepared ahead, I've read the script multiple times, I have my treatment, I have this breakdown for each scene. Do you understand? So as I'm receiving the document for the work schedule for the day, I go back to my treatment, I pull out the requirements for that day, and we go over it to my team. So there's that confidence with having familiarized myself very well with
Mm.
what I want to do. So there's just that mindfulness, that seriousness that leads my interactions with this project. And there's no, as a matter of fact, even if I'm working with an unknown production company and an unknown director, in as much as I've agreed to work on that project, I take it very seriously
Mm.
because you never know. Who would have thought that my first AMVCA nomination was going to be Ileu? Who would have thought? I mean, it wasn't like we're joking around, but that year, that wasn't the biggest project I'd done.
Mm.
It wasn't the biggest project. In fact, by income, it was not high ranking.
Mm.
But I took it seriously because you never know.
Yeah. You're right.
So I take everything seriously. I take everything. And then when it comes to these big production companies, I'm like, look, I'm going for the globe. You get me? I'm not just going for Hollywood, I'm going for
Yeah.
global.
Yeah.
So I try to really position myself, and in the middle of it, I'm like, hey, God, are you giving it to your 100% like this? So
Mm.
I'm mindful, I'm not joking around. And
Yeah.
that's the secret. Just being mindful and taking myself, taking the job very seriously. Not We're not
Yeah.
joking around here. People's income is being spent here. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that. I really, really love that because I think sometimes when people think about artistry, they think, oh, it's creative and it's fun. Am I just going to have so much fun?
Mm-hmm.
But there is the seriousness, there's the strategy, like you said, with Funke
Yeah.
Daily that comes with it. And I think the people that last long are the people who know that this is serious business
Yeah.
and we have to play the long term game. And when we're working, we're working. When we're laughing, we're laughing. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for sharing that. I think that anybody who is looking up to you or coming up in the industry can also know
Yeah.
that yes, maybe it's based on maybe it's who you know that gets you in the
Mm-hmm.
room, but also the track record that you're leaving as a
Yeah.
result of the things you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you touched on the AMVCA, and I was going to ask about that. You've been nominated twice now.
Yeah.
How has it impacted your career, if it has at all?
Has it impacted? I don't know. I don't know. So I think that one popular thing that we say in Nollywood is that AMVCA is not the definer
Mm.
of men. No. It's a nod that it's a good to have, but it's not the definer, you
Mm.
know. How has it impacted? Considering that there is a room full of about 1,000 filmmakers and your name is mentioned, and I guess, maybe it gets me seen.
Mm.
The curiosity, maybe producers are curious to see,
Yeah.
to work with this person to see if, they're really worth their weight in gold.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't think. Because I'm thinking of one big project I did that I was told it was Anila, and Anila was not nominated. The big projects I did the year that Ilewu was nominated for AMVCA, it wasn't about Ilewu. It
Mm.
wasn't. This year, the nomination for A Tribe Called Judah, the projects I've done after, they haven't had anything to do,
Mm.
So maybe it's doing something that I'm not physically aware of.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a nice nod, but it's not a definer, because if you think about it, who really determines
Yeah.
whose work is best?
Yeah.
Based on what?
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot to say on that.
Yeah.
So let's just say it's a
It's a
nod.
nod.
That is a
It's a
nice
nice
to
nod.
have. Yeah, it's a nice nod. That's it.
So you've talked about taking your work very seriously. And earlier when I asked about research, are there any professional development tasks that you engage in just to continuously improve and stay on top of trends?
Yeah, I try to take a master class every year. I don't put it out there because it's for my personal growth.
Yeah.
It's not to be showing off that I'm, and I learned this based on how I was raised, my mentors. So I try to take a training every year. Sometimes I'm able to do makeup and SFX. Other times, I'm only just focusing on makeup or just SFX.
Mm,
For instance, when I was going to do um, a tribe called Judah, for instance, I when I got the script, there was one SFX masterclass I was already eyeing,
mm,
and I saw that, I need this skill, so I took and it was an expensive course. So I paid for the training and I took the training just so I could be better prepared to do some of the things that I was required to do in the film. So yes, I do that as well as just I'm constantly, you know, watching those that I benchmark and how they work.
mm,
I ask questions of some of the people that are, reachable.
yeah.
I watch a lot of YouTube videos as well of the things that I like, with special effects. I I watch a lot of
Mm,
medical shows,
yeah.
and it's because of SFX.
Mm,
And I prefer medical because they kind of show the SFX more
mm,
than just a random action film. Well,
mm,
for an action film, they probably won't show much. But medical series, they will show it. The camera will zoom in on it. So
yeah.
I watch those for research. So yeah,
Okay.
those are the things that I
Okay.
do.
Okay, so final question.
Oh, okay.
What would you say to your future self
Hmm.
about the work you're doing now? Because, people usually say, what would you say to your younger self? So I'm flipping it. What would you say to your future self about the work you're doing now?
Wow. What would I say to my future self now?
Yes. If Feyzo was watching this video 10 years from now or 5 years from now, what do you want to say to that Feyzo?
I really hope I've made you proud, though. I hope that I really hope that the journey so far has not been a waste of time. I really hope you are not I really hope you are not thinking that why did you take all that time when you could have just done this one thing. I honestly and I'm not even joking around. I really hope that this is it. That you
Yeah.
are proud of this path that we have taken.
And that's a wonderful
I
way to
really hope.
end. Thank you so much for coming on the show and for
Thank
chatting
you.
with me today. We had many laughs and as expected. So thank
Yeah.
you. And I'm looking forward to all the wonderful things you're going to be doing in the future.
Same. Same. Thank you so much for having me. It's been amazing.
You're welcome. On the next episode, I'll be chatting with another inspiring artist. But before then, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what you think about this show and this episode. Feel free to drop me a note here or send me a DM on Instagram at Journey of the Art Pod. Finally, please subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube or follow and rate the show if you're listening elsewhere. Help me connect with other artists who need a dose of inspiration today. Until next time, stay on the journey of your art.